You know, it's hard for me to take this news seriously. It was discussed last week that GameStop is going to start taking in retro consoles. Now, there's been a lot of jokes thrown around about, oh, they're only going to give you a certain amount for those consoles. And there's been speculation that it's also going to destroy the whole retro gamer collection bubble that has been going since, I don't know, anytime there was a little bit of a length of time where the console was discontinued. Like, as of right now, you could get a Nintendo new with clean connections, no issues playing the games, fixed up with all the connections for around $60 on eBay. Buy it now. Just pay $60 and you'll get that. Anywhere from $60 to $90. That's a pretty solid profit if you can find an NES for $20, clean it up, and make sure the pins work yourself. So right, there's a market for that. There's people that do that. I mean, there's seriously people on eBay who sit there and do that. That's their life. That is their job. So this threatens that also. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad or good thing. I am only going to bring it up because it threatens that. So while there's the resale market, this also threatens the mom and pop shops that sell games. Like, locally, I have a place that's called Level Up. I have showcased their store, and I'm not promoting them in any way. They don't pay me to promote them, but it's going to be an issue for them as well because, this is a big company, and big companies are established everywhere, not just in some small town, not just in, a bigger town as the mom and pop store alternative. They're everywhere. So what's going to happen is they're just going to have to start firing back and forth. And GameStop is going to try and break in and get its share of the market. And that's going to cause issues between not only resellers, but the mom and pop stores also. So, what they said is that they're going to increase the sales of about 5,000 as a result of this. The eligible systems for this program are going to include the NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis, PlayStation, N64, Sega Dreamcast. I find it funny that the Atari and Game Boys and stuff like that are not in this program. I think you really need to take in all of the systems, every retro system, if you want to be this type of establishment. Like, there's a place called Buybacks that is locally, and they price their games based on eBay pricing, which is really dumb, because I'll go up in there and I'll see a game that sells for like $60 to $70 from the original Xbox, and it's like, you're a store and you're trying to get that out of me. And no, I will just go and find it out in the wild for a little bit cheaper. So here's the thing, this is what a lot of people are saying. You're not going to get what your system's worth. And I know there's so many people who will sit here and rationalize this. I heard the NES Punk podcast about this, talking about this, and Ian was talking about how people think their systems are worth so much money, but the thing is, they really are. Like, okay, back in the day, an NES would cost anywhere from $100 to $200. An SNES would cost anywhere from $100 to $200. I remember buying my first GameCube, and it cost around $200 with a game, and a controller, and a memory card, and it was shitty that it cost so much money. And now you can pick them up for about $25. But that's what happens when you buy new technology. The value degrades, but then it goes back up because of the rarity and things like that. So for those individuals who have a clean console and things of that nature, those that have kept complete track of their consoles, and they just didn't want to sell them on eBay, but they just don't have room for them. Maybe they have a pile up in their closet and their wife has been nagging them to clean it out, or maybe they themselves just want the space to put their clothes in instead of housing a bunch of old game consoles and systems. Maybe some of the systems they just have never used in years. Maybe they've moved on. Maybe they've emulated the console, or maybe they even have a PC that just emulates every console that there is, so there's no point for them to keep these systems, and they want to get rid of them, but they don't want to do it on eBay, they don't want to do it at a flea market, and so they go to GameStop. You know what GameStop's probably going to do for them? They're going to give them the most cut rate possible, and God forbid if the game system is dirty. If there is any type of dirt, if the game system doesn't work for any reason, they're going to either turn you away or give you the the least amount of money they possibly can. Like, just imagine you bring your NES in and you power it up and it blinks on and off. Do you think they're going to take the time, a couple minutes, to figure out if there's an actual problem with the console? Or do you think they're just going to write it off and be like, well, we're just going to knock off this amount of money because it's not working, it's got to be the contact pins and stuff like that? You know, that's what kills me about it. That's what I have issues with. So I'd like to remind you guys that even though the official amounts aren't out there complete yet on damage or clean NES, Super NESs, the things that they're going to be taking, the amounts for PlayStation 2s are out there. And PlayStation 2s are pretty retro nowadays, considering they're not even last gen. They're previous to last gen. So you know what you get for a PlayStation 2 at a GameStop right now? $25. $25. It's depressing. You know, that console that's so versatile, it could be a DVD player for you. You hook up component cables to your TV, you'll get pretty decent resolution out of it for a past previous gen console. It could be a DVD player, it could be your game console, it can emulate the PlayStation 1 perfectly. I mean, it's just silly to think that they give you such a low amount for such a versatile console. But again, that might be economics, supply and demand, and things of that nature. I'm just putting the information out there for you, okay? They give you $25 for a PlayStation 2. They won't even take other consoles like an original Xbox or a GameCube. They just won't do that stuff anymore. There's no point. Matter of fact, they just recently stopped selling GameCube games, and they had wholesale on the GameCube games to where I got some killer awesome games. The Sonic Sega Collection, Sonic Adventure, and they were all under like $2 to $3 a piece on the GameCube. And it's crazy to think that they just wholesale stuff like that, and yet they won't, you know, the prices and what they give you and things like that. And everyone knows, man. Everyone knows GameStop will rob you. So I'm not here to tell you not to trade in your consoles. I'm here to tell you to do your own research. Do your homework. Get on eBay. If you think your console's worth more and you think they're jerking you around, the odds are they probably are. So you need to look it up. You need to clean your console. You need to make it work. You need to make it the best it possibly can be before you go and trade it in. So I've been your host, Protomario, and leave your comments and thoughts in the section below about this new program coming up.
And now, the important decision of joining the Maverick Rebellion. We are a tight group of individuals who rebel against stereotypes and greater evils that are commonly accepted. ISPs, children being conned out of games, sexism in video games, enough is enough, and the Mavericks have had it. If you choose to subscribe, or stay subscribed, you are joining the fight against injustice by watching my numerous video topics. From net neutrality to publishers covering up botched releases, the Mavericks are always informed on the issues plaguing your gaming experience today. So don't be left out in the cold, and don't let those people keep you down. Join the Maverick Rebellion today and become a member of the community that will listen and engage with you. What are you waiting for? Just click subscribe and you'll be in good company. Mavericks unite!